Hello and welcome to this episode of ABD TV. We've got an Audi A6 here and we're going to show you how to change all of the bulbs in the front headlight unit. We're going to do the dip beam bulb, which is an OEM D3S HID bulb. We're going to do the high beam bulb, which is a halogen H7, and we're going to do the front indicator, which is a PSY24W. Okay, so for the dip beam headlight, it's a D3S, but we don't need to lift the bonnet for this one. The access is actually in the wheel arch. So what we're going to do now is just turn the wheel so we can get access to the panel. Okay, now the wheels are turned, you need to find the access panel in the wheel arch. This can be located here, and you can see there's one screw at the top which we need to unscrew to remove that access panel and get to the headlight bulb. Now that the wheel arch panel has been removed, we now have access to the dust cover. This also needs to be removed so we can get to the bulb. To remove this dust cover, there's two screws, both at the bottom here, one on the left and one on the right. Just remove those and the dust cover just pops right off. With the dust cover removed, it's just a simple case of popping off the cable at the bottom of the bulb. A short quarter turn to the left anti-clockwise will release the bulb. With the bulb removed, you'll see that there's this green collar still on it. This is what holds it in place in the headlamp unit. This can simply be unclipped and then reclipped onto the new bulb ready for installation. So at this point, with the collar back on the new bulb, it's just a case of doing all these steps in reverse to install the bulb back in the headlight and put the dust cover and the wheel arch panel back in place. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the high beam and the indicators. For this one we need to open the bonnet first, so we'll do that just by lifting this catch here. It's very easy, and then we pull the bonnet up. Okay, so now we want to work on the headlights to get to the high beam and the indicators. Now for the high beam on the passenger side, we don't need to do anything in terms of removing any covers, but if we want on the driver's side and for the indicators, it's best if we can remove this cover on the front. And to do that, it just lifts off, but we first have to remove these two plugs. To do that, just use a plastic spatula. You don't want to damage it too much, but a flathead screwdriver is also fine. Just be a little bit careful you don't snap it as you do that. So to get to the high beam on the passenger side, you just need to remove this dust cover first. It just pulls off and then you have good access to the bulb inside. With the dust cover removed, you can now get to the bulb, and twisting it to the left will just unlock it and allow you to remove the bulb out of the socket. It is a bit fiddly, so you might just need a little bit of persistence. Once removed from the socket, simply work the bulb off the top of the holder and replace as necessary. Fitting it back in is just simply the reverse. Put the bulb back in the socket and twist to the right. Again, this is a bit fiddly, but again, a little bit of persistence will get you there. Replace the dust cover and you're good to go. Now for the indicator bulbs, it's the same story as with the high beam bulb. You just need to remove this dust cover off the front. It just pulls right off, and then that will give you access to the bulb. Now just like the high beam, removing this bulb is just a twist to the left anti-clockwise to unlock it from the socket. However, with this one it is a bit more fiddly due to the angle that you're going in at. We find the easiest way to remove this is just to use a flathead screwdriver to provide a little bit of leverage. Put that under the base of the bulb and just lever it up will allow you to get the torque you need just to twist the bulb out of the socket, and then it simply removes. Once the bulb is removed from the socket, just pinch the tabs on the side and the bulb should pop off the top. Replace the bulb as necessary and do everything in reverse to put the bulb back in place. Right, so onto the driver's side, and now it gets a little bit more interesting. So first we need to remove these air ducts here from the top. To do this, there's these two screws that need to be removed first. With those two screws removed, you'll need to just pull down this panel at the front and you'll see a third screw that then needs to be removed as well. So with the three screws removed, you can just pull the panel off the front as shown here. But next, to get the air duct off, we first need to release the hose with the air filter. To do this, it's just a twist using these tabs and the air filter will just slide off. Once the air filter is released, the whole air duct can be removed. With the air duct removed, you'll now have full access to the driver's side high beam and indicator bulbs in the same way, in the same positions as you had on the passenger side. Just follow exactly the same steps as you did with the passenger side to replace those bulbs. Once finished, do the reverse to replace the air duct and air filter hose, and you're good to go. So that concludes this video on changing the front bulbs. We covered the dip beam, the high beam and the indicators. I hope you found it informative, and I look forward to seeing you again on another episode of ABD TV.